It's been 13 years since you and I saw Avatar on the silver screen, and good lord, Avatar was everywhere, man! But James Cameron returns to take us back to the wonderful world of Pandora this December. So let's dive back into everything you need to know before seeing Avatar 2, The Way of Water. I'm Joey C. Let's go! I am positive that you remember Avatar, but in the off chance that you don't, let's recap a bit before we get into the juicy details of Avatar 2. It has been 13 years after all. The year is 2154, and there's a human colony on a distant planet called Pandora. Pandora is a habitable planet that was discovered between 2050 and 2077, and boy, that's coming up. And boy, I gotta tell you, the planet is fairly close to Earth. It's only 4.7 million light years away. The humans from the Researching Development Association, aka the RDA, is attempting to colonize the planet and mine a very unique, rare, and valuable mineral.
The rocks! Hank?
No, they're minerals.
And that mineral is unobtainium. It's some sort of super mineral that's used to make fancy iPhones, and it's worth $20 million a kilo. Good God. Oh, and it can solve a super crazy crisis on Earth, but that's beside the point. However, things get a little messy when an indigenous race called the Na'vi, you remember them, the blue guys, gets involved. And it gets crazier. Their village sits on top of where the rare ore is, and you can imagine what happens next. To solve this minor problem for the humans, the ex-Marine Jake Sully gets sent in. And it gets crazier, man! If you recall, my man is piloting an avatar. It's a remote control alien body that allows my dude to breathe the air of Pandora and gain the trust of the locals, hopefully getting them to relocate. It's a wonderful plan. As Jake discovers the new world of the Na'vi, he meets a beautiful Na'vi woman named Neytiri, who teaches him the values that her race shares. As Jake starts to see the world through her eyes, he realizes how much this new world matters to the Na'vi and to him, and fights to protect his new race. And things get a little wacky, and an epic battle ensues, pitting the beautiful tribe of the Na'vi versus the humans. It's basically Atlantis, Fern Gully, Dances with Wolves, and Pocahontas all thrown into a blender. Boy, guess who's back, as Slim Shady said. A lot of actors are reprising their roles from the first movie in the second one. Most notable are Sam Worthington as Jake Sully and Zoe Saldana as Neytiri. Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, and Matt Gerald are all coming back too, which seems pretty odd considering all their characters died during the climax of the original film. Lang even disclosed that his character, Colonel Miles, will be the villain for all 4 Avatar sequels. Boy, you're probably asking yourself, hey man, what's gonna happen in the sequel? Well, let me tell you. Set over a decade after the events of the first movie, Avatar 2 sees the story begin with Sully and Neytiri's family that they started. The film's definitely gonna flash back to Neytiri's presidency. Presidency? What the f? My fellow Pandorians, I did not do freaky tentacle stuff with that human Jake Sully. Nah, I totally did. High five. The film's definitely gonna flash back to Neytiri's pregnancy. So we're definitely gonna see how Pandora has changed since Sully became chief. And since the subtitle is called Way of the Water, boy, we're due for some spectacular underwater sequences. We see various Na'vi communicating with underwater life, including Sully's adopted daughter, Kiri. Kiri's an interesting prospect as she's going to be voiced by Sigourney Weaver. And boy, I gotta tell you, it is great they found a way to bring her back after she died in the first movie. Dr. Grace had an avatar body herself, and Kiri seems like she's been born from that body. There's a line in the trailer where Kiri states that she can, quote, hear her heartbeat through the tree of voices, so it's possible she's talking about Dr. Grace. Way of Water will introduce us to another tribe of the Na'vi, known as the Makaina, who are the aquatic people of Pandora. The trailer showed Kiri and various Makainas communicating with gorgeous whale-like creatures. So we're definitely gonna see those whales help repel the returning RDA. Can't wait to see some colonizers drown in their own cockpit. Sully's definitely gonna have his hands full when he tries to get these 2 different tribes to work together. Things can get a little crazy when your 2 tribes fighting each other. Although any story is incomplete without a villain, as we can see in the trailer, Colonel Miles has somehow been reborn into a Na'vi body. He could want to conquer Pandora all for himself, he could want to avenge his fallen comrades, or he could want to crush Sully's legacy, or any combination of the 3. I have no idea, I guess we'll see. They all seem likely. And that's just the bulk of the story that we can gather from the trailers. Boy, we waited so long for a sequel and we finally got it. And it's been 13 long years. And much like the first movie, Avatar 2 will be a pioneer in visual effects. And before we get into the how, we gotta get into the why, man. Let's do it. And the answer is pretty clear. The technology just wasn't there yet. While the wait could be attributed to a number of different things like the 2020 pandemic, it's not out of character for James Cameron, as he took 12 years to make the first movie. That's longer than 12 years. You know, I don't have a joke here, okay? Just move on. He had a treatment ready for this movie all the way back in 1994. He wanted to make use of the synthetic computer-generated actors that couldn't exist in the real world. But unfortunately, the technology just wasn't there. I gotta tell you something, even if you haven't seen the trailer, it's pretty crystal clear that Avatar: Way of the Water is gonna involve, well, water. A large portion, if not most of the film, will take place underwater. We'll be seeing the Na'vi connect with various wildlife underneath the sea, and we'll probably get some epic underwater action as well. Mr. Cameron loves his water. Of course he did the very depressing Titanic, which makes me cry every single time I watch it, but he also did the very depressing 3D adventure Deep Sea Challenge. He clearly wants to combine underwater filming and motion cap technologies in ways we have never seen before. This is evident by reports that most of the cast members have been trained in freediving. Boy, if James Cameron wants to make 5 of these movies, good lord, he better hire every single engineer and visual effects artist under the sun, because good lord, the innovations are insane. Yeah, that's right, you heard me correctly. James Cameron wants to make 5 of these movies. Good lord! How much more can you evolve? Which might be the first film quintology. Which might be the first film's quintology. I have no idea how to pronounce that. What the hell's going on? The third film was reported to be 95% complete back in 2020 and is planned for a December 2024 release. Avatars 4 and 5 are planned to follow suit in December 2026 and 2028 respectively. And boy, that's everything you need to know before seeing Avatar 2: The Way of Water. Are you gonna see it in theaters? If so, let us know in the comments below. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.